Hello and welcome to the channel. Welcome back if you've been here before, and Merry Christmas to all of you who celebrate. This is the 12 Days of Christmas YouTube hop, and today is my turn. You will have already seen some incredibly talented ladies, and there are a few more after me, so make sure to keep following along on the hop. I will have all of the videos linked down below for you so that they're easy to find. My project is going to be a tutorial for a book-shaped box. You don't need a cutting machine or anything for this, just your cut and scoreboard, or scissors and a ruler would work just the same. I have already cut my pieces just for speed, but I will go over them with you. All measurements will be in the description, so you can screenshot them or write them down or something if you need them on hand. You will need one piece of paper which is 6 3/8 by 10 1/4 inches. Mind these ones out of the way, do them one at a time. This one you need to score at 3/4 of an inch on each side, so just keep turning it around 3/4 of an inch. Then on the long side you need to score it at 4 3/8 and 5 7/8, and that piece will be your book cover, so have that as the piece you want facing outwards, like the front of your book. I will be making this box with a little drawer, so you need this little sleeve piece. This piece measures 9.5 by 4 1/4. You need to score this one on the long side at 1 1/8, 4 1/2, 5 5/8 and 9 inches. That will be your little sleeve. 2 chipboard pieces, or I use this recycled craft card, which is just as good. You can double it up if you want it to be stronger, but one is fine for what I'm doing. And these measure 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. 2 of those, or 4 if you're doubling them up. Then to make the little drawer, this one is totally inspired by Anna. Ignore these pieces, I wanted to check that it was the right size. I'll explain those in a minute. This one needs to be 7 3/4 by 8 3/4. Then you need to score at 1 1/8 and 2 1/4 on every side. So turn it around, same 2 measurements each side. I want little notches so that you can see where to pull the drawer out. So to do that, just using a Hobbycraft circle punch. You want to fold in your first measurement like so, and then cut your little notch in the middle. Then when you open it out, obviously it looks like this, like it's got a little hole in it. If you want to stitch this, which I will be, it's only worth stitching on these 4 panels. I'll stitch that and I'll come back and show you so that you know what I mean. But first off, we are going to make the book cover. Before we carry on with the video, I just want to take this opportunity to ask you to subscribe if you haven't already. Please don't forget to like the video if you enjoy it, and click the notification bell to be notified when I post more crafty videos. I'm going to use double-sided tape and my Barely Arts glue. You want to take this piece and cut each corner out slightly at an angle. Let me show you what I mean. Like this. I'm not sure if that shows you properly, so I'll show you on the next corner. But you're just cutting out the little square that you can see from the score lines and slightly angling it. And you need to do that on all 4 corners. Then this part in the middle for the spine, don't crease these 2, it gives you a nicer bend if you don't, but you need to create just a little V on this score line, like so. Do that on the others as well, so that you end up with a piece that looks like this. Then you want to take your 2 chipboard pieces and attach them within the squares on each side. Then you want to add your adhesive along tabs here. I like to do the top and the bottom and then the side, but it doesn't really matter what way around you do it. Also, it'd be easier if I had pre-creased these. Then you just want to do exactly the same on the other side, and also fold these parts in and just glue them down flat. It just strengthens the spine a bit more. quick tip for something you can do to make it a bit neater is sort of fold these corners in with your score tool before you fold this part in. There we go, and that's our book cover done. So if you want to add any stitching to this, now would be the time to do it while it's flat. I want to add some charms, like a little dangle with some beads and things. So I need to add a hole and an eyelet on the spine. You won't be able to see any of this inside bit, so don't worry about that too much. Another thing you can do to encourage it to bend a bit better is to run your score tool along these bits to sort of curve them, like so. That helps give it that rounded spine at the edge, so it will look like this when it's closed up. The next thing you'll want to do is make your drawer and also put together your little sleeve. So we'll do this first just because it's slightly easier to do. I'm going to add the adhesive on the plain side because although this will overlap outside this piece, it will be hidden inside the box, so it doesn't matter too much, and it helps me line it up. Make sure that it's equal on all the sides because it sort of gives me something to push against when I'm lining it up. Just remember to put this piece that you don't want to see on the inside of the book, so it's this side. I've totally forgotten to stitch this. What I like to do is add straight lines along here so it sort of looks like book pages. I might add some snow or something else on this one because I've forgotten, but I will add stitching on this one. So I'll mine this to the side. This is your next piece. So it should look like this with all your score lines, your little notches if you want them. I am going to stitch on here and then I will come back and show you the pieces that I've stitched. I've stitched all the bits that I want stitched. These 4 that I hope it's showing you are the only 4 that you will see, so it's not worth stitching the rest. Just do these 4 if you want stitching. I'm going to cut off the threads. Then to make the little drawer, you want to cut at an angle here and here. The easiest way for me to show you is to cut these bits off, then show you what it looks like. It's hard to explain, but you're basically getting rid of 3 of the 4 squares. So when there are the score lines, it will sort of look like a grid. You're getting rid of these 3 outside ones and then sort of angling these 2 cuts. Then you want to go ahead and cut up to the score line on this one so that you can make a box, just a standard box design. Show you again, slightly angled on that one and on that one. Cut up to here, across there, and then up to the score line. So that's how all of your corners will look. Next we want to assemble the box, so I'm going to use wet glue for this. I should really pre-fold all of these as well, make it a bit easier. There we go. So adding glue onto this square, and tucking that in here, gluing that closed. So you're just making a box, and then these sides will obviously be too tall, but I'll show you what we do with those in a second. Once your box is all put together, you want to add glue to 1/2 of this section. Sort of this whole section, not this one, if that makes sense, and then just fold it over so that it makes the edges nice and straight, and it also gives you some colour inside the box. You could use double-sided paper for this, and then this part wouldn't be plain, but I think I'm just going to add some shredded tissue paper in the bottom there, and you won't be able to see it anyway. So again, adding glue and then just folding it in. And then your little drawer is all ready to go. So check that your little drawer fits inside the sleeve, which it should. There we go, nice and snug in there. And then I'm going to take it out while I glue the sleeve down because I think it will be easier. But you want to add some tape or glue or whatever you're using to the centre of this part. And then you're literally just going to centre this on this side of the book. Oh, making sure, remember that this part is by the spine. I nearly messed that up. Then the next part is probably easier if you put the drawer in. Like this, it makes it a bit sturdier. You're just going to add adhesive on the top and fold this over to create your little book. I'm going to add my eyelet on here really quickly actually, nearly forgot that. Then double-sided tape and glue on top of here. I wonder if there's something else you could put in there that would make it slightly sturdier while you're adhering things to it. Do you know what, it might be easier without the drawer because at least then you could get your hand in to press it. And it's all ready to go. Like so. You can pretty easily turn this into a book that opens instead. So if you didn't bother making the sleeve, I've just realised my drawer's upside down. If you didn't bother making the sleeve, you could just take this part, I've actually got one here, glue it in here. I've added some ribbon underneath it on both sides. Then when it closes up, you can just tie the ribbon on top. I can't tie one-handed, so I'm just trying to hold it. And you tie that closed, and then you've got another variation of the little book, but obviously this one will open like a book would, and this one is a little drawer instead. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial with me. I will film a process video or maybe do a live decorating this, but I will link it down below so that you can check it out. I'll make sure that they're out around the same time so you get to see this finished. Don't forget to check out all the other amazing ladies. Tag me if you give this a go. I'd love to see your versions, and I will see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.